bereiten. Und das wollen wir jetzt auch nochmal vorbereiten. Als erstes hätte ich gerne mal alle mit so einem wahnsinnigen Hey! Kriegen wir das hin? Achtung, auf drei!
Hier wäre noch eine wichtige Information für alle Teams. Eisbett.
Oh Gott, was ist das für eine Ente? Mach nochmal bitte. Ich sehe noch was auf Entenjagd. Um die anzulocken hier. Ja, okay, gut. Naja, dann lassen wir mal so stehen. Gut, das war alles so unkoordiniert.
Kennzeichen B, Berlin, JB 5055 bitte am Einlass des VIP-Parkplatzes melden. Das ist ein VW Tourrecht. Startbegabe verteilt, ist 4. Also, Alexander Stuber ist gestartet. Nochmal der Hinweis für den Führer des VW Tourrechts mit dem amtlichen Kennzeichen B für Berlin, JB 5055 bitte am Einlass des VIP-Parkplatzes melden. Dankeschön. Das bei der Zeit wird es hier im Juni.
Gerne. Immer gerne. Meld dich, ne?
Perfekt.
Seventh race weekend of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. It's a sunny spring day in Altenberg in Saxony, the last race of the World Cup in Europe and the build-up for the World Championships. As ever, a big, knowledgeable crowd on hand here as we get ready for the second and deciding heat in our women's bobsleigh competition. Martin Haven and Aussie driver Sarah Blizzard watching the action, and perhaps unsurprisingly, it is a German top three on this most difficult of German tracks.
Yeah, it's definitely not surprising. It was a bit of an action-packed first heat, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second and see if some people can clean up their runs from the first to second heat.
So third place, Lisa Buchnitz, 47 hundredths off the lead, but only 4 hundredths behind teammate Kim Kalicki. This could be an entertaining battle for the silver, but is it going to be a battle for the gold? Kalicki favouring not only her injured calf, but also now it seems her hamstring is starting to play up again. A week before the Worlds, less than optimal. Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy. The last time these two raced together, somebody hung Olympic gold medals around their neck. Deborah is back in harness, and they are leading after the first heat by more than 4/10 with a brand new track record. Well, after a moist, humid, slow week of ice, suddenly this morning clear and dry, and the ice much quicker. In fact, at record pace, Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy. And a worry whether or not that's going to continue into the four-man race later, but there might still be a potential for start records going as well. Alana Myers-Taylor and Jasmine Jones crashed in the first heat. They will not go in the second run, so we have 10 sleds. Cynthia Appel will be first off. Lara Nolte there, last off. And she looked very comfortable, very confident, didn't she?
Oh, yeah, she had a very good run. Obviously, the fast start helps a lot. A nice, clean run. obviously it was a track record, so she did quite well. Kim's run wasn't great, but she still came down quite fast, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see it.
Anolta winning the Monobob yesterday, her first win of the season in Monobob, so that will have given her that extra little boost of confidence. Andrea Greco here of Romania. Her touch has deserted her this season, and it's the same for Canada's Cynthia Appiah as well. Cynthia just not quite on the sort of form where she ended up third in the World Cup standings last year. And don't forget, Kelly Humphries, last year's World Cup champion, she's not here. So Cynthia, by right, should be kind of second best driver in the field. But, well, there's Deborah Levy. It's been a long recovery post-Olympics and post-surgery to get back to fitness, but boy, they're in their happy place.
Yeah, so definitely.
We go in reverse order of our first heat. 10 down to 1, Cynthia Appiah and her brand new brakewoman Morgan Ramsey making her debut. Then Melanie Hassler, Kelly van Petegem, Victoria Chinansky, Andrea Greco, and into the top 5 battle between Greco and Bile and Ying Qing, and then probably a 3-way fight for the medals. Cynthia Appiah and rookie Morgan Ramsey, the ice hockey player making her first World Cup start, getting in behind Cynthia at fairly short notice for today's race.
To 587, so that's a pretty big improvement from the first one. The first one, they had 592.
Well, again, it's just a little warmer in the air. That may just allow the sled to move a little more freely across the ice at the top. But, of course, it's not her first push in the World Cup. It's her second. So those little jitters will have gone a little bit from Morgan Ramsey as well. And I'm sure all her fellow brakewomen would have been bigging her up. Come on, you know you've got it, all that stuff.
Yeah, those girls are being very supportive of her this morning.
Little rattle down the straight from 9 into the Kreisel. Oh, and a big hit on the exit. This is not going to do her confidence in Altenberg any favours. Oh, how did she come back up?
As well.
That actually crashed and then came back up.
Yeah, she got very lucky that that didn't stay over then. It'd be interesting to see the replay of that.
Logo, I know we're going to see that, so we will see that in a moment or two. The replay boys find stuff that we don't see, but that was over, and then the corner was just in the right place to put it back up. That is a proper get-out-of-jail-free card right there. Yeah, I mean,
a bit of a scare.
Yeah. Well, it's more, I can't believe I just did that. She knows the track better than she's driving it. This is 11-12. And then skids into 13. Big early height. And the going away shot. Oh.
Just whipped over.
I tell you, if that was a men's 2-man sled, the extra sort of 40 or 50 kilos of body weight, they'd have been gone.
4-man for sure.
4-man definitely,
yeah,
no
100%.
question. Yeah.
The run was still faster than her first though, so
yeah.
Wonder if that's the track speeding up or in general a few mistakes up the top fixed up.
I think the track will speed up. Let's see now what we get from Melanie Hassler and Mara Morel. Mel we saw getting out the sled. I wondered whether she'd injured her back again, but it seems she was limping away on her ankle, her right ankle. So that's all she needs. She still looks like she's running more than jogging. They're trying to make sure they get as much out of this as possible. 576, just 300s back, so maybe it was just a knock on the sled rather than a strain.
Which can definitely happen if you have some big hits in the... I know she had a big hit from 4 to 5 again, but you can knock yourself in the sled quite a lot too, and it can quite hurt. Yeah.
Okay, calming down a bit. 7, 8, Exeter 9, late. Gathers it up. You've got to focus on the Kreisel. As soon as you're coming out of 9, laser focus on your in point for the Kreisel, because that's the big gorilla.
Yeah, you kind of hold your breath going down the straight, just waiting, hoping that you go in on a nice entry.
Well, the brakeman doesn't breathe here for 56.31 seconds or whatever it is, so...
This is looking like a pretty nice run down the bottom here.
And 9200s up, a 57.28 compared to 57.63. Could have been better. First heat wasn't tidy, second heat wasn't tidy, but it was a bit less hellacious than that of Cynthia Appiah, to use a John Morgan word. Yeah. All right, a couple of days to recover before they start training again on Tuesday in Winterberg. And that's a much less physical track, less bumps, less bangs, and less G-forces in it as well, so a little kinder on the bones.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully you avoid too many hits like that, but yeah, she got a bit of air there.
I've never tried to pick up a bobsled with 2 athletes in, but I imagine that's quite a lot of energy.
It's heavy enough as it is. It's already 170 kilos, so I can't imagine it'd be, yeah,
getting on for 270 once you've got a couple of athletes in. Okay, jury member giving Anne van Nieuwenhuis the order to put the sled into the start grooves for Kelly van Petegem and Dora de Hasselaar. Both of them break women for Anne. Kelly now been driving for the last couple of seasons since the 2022 games.
And we actually saw that Kelly actually went 2 seconds faster than she has ever gone in training here in the first heat. So she's definitely flying. She's driving well. The track's in good condition. So it'll be interesting to see what she does.
That's a remarkable testament to her ability to adapt. Because to go 2 seconds faster means you're getting to everything much quicker than you're expecting.
Yep, exactly.
And so easy not to time the steers and to come off late off everything, but it didn't look like that.
Really nice from 3 to 4 there. She avoided the hit, which is great, and 4 to 5.
Well, like Anne, her coach and mentor, she's not going to have the fastest start, so she's always going to have to outdrive her rivals rather than outstart and outdrive them. 2200s back, but best speed of all so far. Oh, big height!
Oh, no, she saved it. She knew what to do there.
Yeah, the 4th pressure was just a flop. 3rd best speed, low into 15, into 13. Little skiddy out of 14. It's going the wrong way. Mel Hasler will lead, and Kelly van Petegem is in 2nd place. A 57.78, actually slower than her first heat.
Yeah, the Kreisel definitely didn't help there, but she managed to make it out, and that was a solid effort. I think she should be pretty happy with that run. It is still a lot faster than what she's used to, so she should be definitely happy with that.
And again, world champs next week. Get it down. Never mind the speed. Get it down safe, in one piece. Don't use your helmets. Well, there's the exit of 9, and she comes over nicely, just drifts over to the driver's left. Too much of a skid going in there.
So it's nice and controlled in the beginning, and then just kind of misses that second wave there, but she held it down and got it up really high.
Wow.
But it was high at the right time, so it managed to still come out. She took the hit, but she came out.
That late height almost negates the 4th pressure. You're almost out before the G-forces get back to you.
Exactly.
Victoria Chernanska now for Slovakia with Lucia Makrosova. Now, Victoria in 7th place at the moment, and her 2 best World Cup results here and in Sigulda were 9th place finishes. So we are right in PB territory, and this is what it's all about for developing drivers and athletes. 5.97 first heat, 5.98 in the second. She was nice and clean early on, and she is again here.
Took a little bit of a tap going into 4, which made the first wave a bit big, but she managed that pretty well. Another tap there. A lot of people seem to be taking the same tap there too.
Just a few hundreds behind Melanie Hassler at the last split. It'll be about 1,200. Oh, no, she's found more speed, better speed. Oh, big height. Hang on here. Too late. Didn't quite gather that 3rd pressure. She needed to really either hold it on a bit longer or react a bit harder. Now, that's a real shame. She was on target for her best ever World Cup performance. And it all ends on those long, horrible, grinding noises. Track workers here ready to try and stop the sled from going back. It's one of our IBSF officials, but once it starts moving...
Yeah, it's a bit hard to stop when it's in motion, but going backwards there is not fun at all. I'm sure we'll get a view to see if the girls are okay.
Yeah. Again, it's that entrance into Kreisel. If you come in straight, then you don't go spearing up to the woodwork, and the pressures are all in a certain position. The later you come off that first pressure, the further you're pushing the wave around the bowl, if you like, and that means the third one, which is coming up now, that's the one she's driving it off hard here. She actually needed to hold it a little longer and then bring it down, but you know, that's 100th of a second, 200ths of a second. You're making that decision, and she saw the red flag and she wanted to bring it out.
And it can be hard when the track conditions are suddenly a bit faster. The timing can be completely different in Kreisel, and what you're used to doing or the amount that you usually steer doesn't work, and you need to steer a bit more or control it a bit more. And you could see in that second pressure there that it just flew up to the roof. So you need to control it a little bit more and then wait for the exit and bring it out.
Well, the girls are out talking with the medical officials. Good to see they are up and about.
It's never fun crashing here, so they're going to be hurting a little bit, but they're up and moving, which is always good.
It looks very much like Lucia has got a Burns vest underneath. I don't know whether Victoria does or not, but I have to say, I mean, there's a lot of push to make those mandatory, and I think that's absolutely the way it should be going. When you've got the weight of a sled, you say, got 175, 190 kilos on top of you, pushing you down into the ice, and you're sliding across the ice at 120, 130 kilometers an hour sometimes. It goes through, the heat goes through the suit and just boils the flesh off the bones, and it's just it's a very, very nasty injury, and it's absolutely within technology's limits to really limit those to near zero. So
yeah, definitely. And this track can be a bit violent down the bottom if you've crashed out of Kreisel, so you can get thrown out of the sled quite easily, even if you're holding on. I know I have a burn here, and I was wearing a Burns vest, so it's a really rough track at the bottom. So it'd be really good to see the Burns vest made mandatory for everyone.
I know that the IBSF are definitely working on it. They're trying to come up with. There is no standard. A Burns vest, as it is, does not exist in any other form of sport, and so this is like when they started introducing fireproof racewear into racing. The guy that made the first Simpson race suits had to demonstrate them by standing in a pool of petrol and being set on fire and being able to walk out of it, because that technology didn't exist. The same with the HANDS devices that save the driver's neck in impacts. Again, another American invented them and pioneered them for years, and it wasn't until Mercedes took up manufacturing them that they actually became commonly used and then mandatory and so on. And safety never sleeps. You know, you've always got to look at what we're doing. Athletes are getting faster. Technology means sleds are getting faster. The tracks are the same. So the crashes are going to still happen because people make mistakes, but the crashes are going to be faster. And you've got to look at what we've got. You know, helmet standards and all the other stuff. You can apply those from motorsport, but Burns vests, that's a technology that does not yet really exist in the fully formed. So if you're going to mandate something, you've got to make sure that it's doing the job that you hope it's going to do, and you've got to look at the results and continue to develop that. And the Federation definitely, I'm sure, will be looking at that. They're always looking at the safety of the tracks. They're always keen to protect the athletes. Crashes are going to happen. It's racing.
You can't avoid it. Like it's
ice
part
skaters
of the sport.
fall over, jockeys fall off horses, racing drivers crash cars. Crashes are going to happen. When you're riding that razor's edge between speed and control, you're always looking for more speed, and that will inevitably sometimes be at the expense of control.
Exactly.
And the very best crash.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, we saw it in training this week, unfortunately. But if we can make it safe, like it's going to happen, but if we can make it safer, it'd be really good.
Yeah. And the bit of the sled that gets damaged most, like in a car crash, is the soft contents. And so it's really important to look after the human element. You know, you can build another sled, buy another sled, rent another sled, fix a sled. It's much harder to do that with the human beings, never mind any other considerations. So definitely athlete safety is right at the heart of everything that the Federation is doing for bobsleigh and skeleton. And I think particularly this week, the incidents we saw in training here, and you know, a couple of crashes in the race. It's not uncommon here. We'll probably have crashes in Winterberg, but that just has refocused everybody's attention And that's always a good thing. It's
It
always
is a good thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the athletes have been getting together as well to be able to find ways to make it safer, which is really good. It is definitely a sport where all the athletes work together, but to see everyone working together to make it safer for everyone, it's really awesome.
Exactly. And the thing of it, everybody faces the same challenge. Every single driver, every single crewman is facing the same track and the same problems at every corner. And sometimes they come and get you, and most times they don't. But everybody knows what it feels like when they do. So yeah, there's a lot of empathy, a lot of sympathy. It's not like you're in the best sled, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
of course
it's going to happen. Yeah.
Well, look at Formula One. The best driver in the best cars will still crash because they're still looking to make it faster than it actually is.
And trust me, as pilots, we try and avoid it. We don't want it to happen.
No.
We definitely don't want it to happen, but yeah,
you're
it's
always
unavoidable
pushing
sometimes.
for more speed. And you're always trying to hold the line a little bit longer and hold the speed a little bit longer. And part of competing when you're driving, whether it's a car or a bobsled or riding a motorbike, is pushing that fear limit further and further away, and the self-preservation takes over less and less often, and that allows you to be more precise, more exact, and more consistent with your speed. Not just one lucky run. It's constantly pushing that boundary of fear further away that would normally have you hauling the sled off. Oh, yeah, get it off. But you've got to control that, and that adrenaline, that rush of nervous, fearful energy, that's what makes the synapses really work. That's what keeps the drivers alive, their senses alive at the level that they need to be to deal with the speeds these sleds are doing. When I'm sitting in the back of a taxi, Bob, I'm perfectly sanguine that the guy in front is fully on it.
Exactly. I think there's two types of people. There's the ones that want to be in charge and the ones that definitely do not want to be in charge.
Well, like when I'm going around a racing track, I want to be with the driver who I know knows what he's doing, because I have no clue. I just want to sit and enjoy the ride, But for these athletes, it's not about sitting and enjoying the ride. It's not about taking in the view. It's not just about a kind of occasional experience. This is their passion. This is about Andrea Grecu here being the absolute best that she can be every time she gets in a sled. And it's not about what everybody else does, it's about what she does. And that's the deal. Her and Teodora, they want to set their fastest ever start on this track. She wants to have her best ever drive. Whatever's just happened, whatever's going to happen, that's the focus.
Well, they had a 5:81 start and a 57:12 downtime in the first run, so we'll see if they're able to improve on that.
Well, Melanie Hassler is the current leader, and they have 51 hundredths of a second in hand. And if Andrea has a decent run, she could move up a couple of spots now. 5:75 getaway, so they find 600ths at the start. And I do think that start area may continue to get just a little quicker.
Takes a bit of a skid and a hit out of 3, but managed to control four pretty well.
4-5, nice and clean, gradually onto 6 and out cleanly through 7 and 8. Corner 9, first big test here. Nice clean exit, just gets the little tap, but comes back online for the Kreisel. Third best speed, but pulling away from Melanie Hassler in the top of the track.
Really nice exit from Kreisel as well, and 11:12.
Best speed of all, 7 tenths up from Mel, so she's adding, nearly doubling her advantage over the first heat.
This is looking like a pretty nice run down the bottom here.
Yeah. Well, she knows this track so well. 7,500's up, 57.04. And that is the 5th fastest run down the track today. So only the top 4 in the first heats have gone quicker.
I bet they're relieved now. They've finished Altenberg. They're on to Winterberg now.
Yeah, but that's more like it. She doesn't mind this track. She likes this track.
Yeah.
She likes this track a lot. She's just been lost this week because it's been so slow. She said after training, I can't drive it. It's too slow. I want it to be faster. Well, today, finally.
There you go. She's probably enjoying these conditions a lot more than...
100%. 100%.
Yep, you can see she trusted her line there. She was steering, she brought it back. It did take a little bit of a tap, but it ended up straightening out pretty well.
Yep.
She got lucky. She avoided the tap just before the entry of Kreisel.
Finally, I mean, in her head now, finally, one good run all week. Okay, there we go. Andrea Grecu leads after the first 5 sleds. 5 down, 5 to go. Women's Bobsleigh World Cup number 7 here in Altenberg. Andrea Grecu of Romania leads. Kati Bile of Austria with her second time starter, Isabella Indrikova, behind her. 100th ahead after the first heat, and they start a little slower, so she already is coming from behind.
Pretty clean through there, through the top half.
Tiniest of touches into 4, clean into 5, clean into 6.
But she does know this track, she drives it well, so it's pretty much what we'd expect from her as well.
Yeah. Oh, a little late flop, but avoids a tap. 1300, she's losing no more time to Andrea Grecu. Speed is pretty decent. And
oh, she got lucky there.
Boy, oh boy.
Came down a little bit too early and it pushed her up, but she cranked it off and she made it off.
Yep. Well, we talked about that self-preservation instinct. Sometimes it's absolutely the right thing to do. She got it off and got it down. Second place, 57.53, whatever. It's getting it down safely. That last little expression from Wolfgang Stampfer.
Yeah.
Oh boy, a big smile on her face. That's I got away with that, didn't I, smile?
I don't know if her brakeman would realise how close they were there. Cutty definitely did. She ducked her head. But like I said, she knows the track. She knows how to react in those situations, and that's probably what got her out of it.
Late steer off 9 as well. That was the warning sign. She came late off 9. She will have known that she was going to travel into the Kreisel faster than before.
And in general, it was looking pretty good. It was
Low
just
second pressure, though, and then brings it down early on the third one, but not early enough. Wow.
Yeah, she ducked her head. But she made it out.
Happy birthday, Jenny, to you and your lekker kontje.
That's her brakewoman, Jennifer Onosanya. I didn't realise it was Jen's birthday.
Happy birthday, Jenny.
Happy birthday, Jenny. And her little baby. Yeah, those of you who speak whatever kind of German they speak in Austria, you've got the rest. Yingqing of China next up with Wang Yu. 4th place finish for Ying. Her best ever result, a 4th place finish in Sigulda. Is this going to be a personal best matching run? 582, they started 579 in the first heat.
Yeah, it'd be really good to be able to see her hold that position, because that would be a really great result for these girls.
Especially as her coach has not got her on runners for speed, but runners for confidence. So she's out driving perhaps where she might have been otherwise.
And sometimes those skinnier runners give you, like, they definitely give you that much more control, which can actually make you faster if you're not skidding everywhere too.
Exactly. Kicks you off the wall, stops you skidding and bumping. Best speed into the Kreisel. This should be the leading run. Oh, but it's going to be very close. Second best speed behind Andrea Grecu. How close are we going to be? 900s back. I don't think she's got enough. She will be second. It'll be a top 5 run, but maybe not a top 4. Second at the line. So Teodora Vlad there on the left, Andrea Grecu on the right. Now, they've been silver medalists in women's bob before, so this will not be a personal best World Cup result, but it will be a personal best for Grecu. Her best result ever in Altenberg was a 5th place finish. She leads with 3 to go.
And I think anyone would be happy with a top 6 finish in Altenberg. It really just shows your driving skills as well. Definitely think it would be very happy with that. Yeah. I know I would be over the moon if I got that.
Yeah, there's not too many coaches that would poo-poo a top 6.
She took a bit of a late tap. She went quite late there into 13, but in general the run looked pretty good.
Look at her exit of 14. Now, that may be where the speed went away, controlling 13 into 14 to get that exit.
You can get a little bit hectic in there if you take late entries, but she controlled her very well.
3 to go. Lisa Buchwitz, then Kim Kilicki, then Lara Nolter. Buchwitz, winner here last year as a driver, winner here 2 years ago as a brakewoman with Kim Kilicki. Is she going to beat her old driver in this race?
5:61, so slightly faster than the first one. I know that they definitely would have been trying to get closer to Laura and Debbie, but yeah, nice and consistent. It's always good.
And Lisa's been driving so well this season. She's third in the World Cup standings, but she was the winner in Innsbruck. And she's had 4 Monobob golds as well. This is her second year of World Cup driving. Like I said, 2 seasons ago, the pre-Olympic races here, she was still the #1 brakewoman for Kim Kilicki. And she goes as well! Oh, and it's not coming back up. Nearly did.
It really wanted to come back up there, but you can just see she just didn't hold it enough quite at the end, and it dipped, or it went a little bit too high just before the red flag where you'd normally steer it out. Well, they've got some rope. Hopefully they can...
Yep.
Oh, they've just missed it.
And that is the difficulty with different sleds crashing in different places, how far they come up the track. And that's all part of what they're looking at here in Altenberg, is having, you know, 2 or 3 hooks further down and further up. Kim gets out, beg your pardon, Lisa gets out. She's absolutely furious with herself.
As you would be. Like, it's, yeah.
Absolutely livid. So here we are, exit the 9, the Tudai curve, brings it down, takes the little tap, lining up nicely for the Kreisel, but just a little too far early on the left. Now she's about right.
Yeah, it was a really nice entry, and it was actually looking pretty good for the whole of Kreisel.
Again, a little bit like Katibal, that late exit.
Just needed to hold it down a little bit before letting it have that third pressure.
That 4th wave is just holding the sled up too far. And again, she's pulling herself in, but at that stage, unfortunately, her brakewoman, Lauren Siebert, doesn't know that they're going over, and suddenly the pressure releases and she pops up in the sled.
They nearly came back up.
Yeah.
Because through this part of the track is not nice when you're on your side either. So.
And again, 13 nearly rolled them back up, but again, it then just drops you back down. You're on your head, you're on your shoulder, desperately trying to hold yourself inside the cowl. Yeah. So again, the medical crew will look at both of the athletes. I mean, it's their final heat of the weekend. We want to make sure that they're A-OK before they leave medical attention, before they leave the track. But you could definitely hear the roar of frustration from Lisa Buchwitz.
Yeah, it's also the pressure from the race, as well as holding on to medal position, as well as having the crash. And yeah, there's a lot of emotions that are involved in that.
Well, and there is the inside of a sled. Let's just move the shot around a little, see if we can get a little light inside the sled there and show you the D-rings that the driver drives with. That little red tab inside the V there, that's the button that the driver hits to drop the push bar back in. So that's the push bar. It's sort of sprung, but it's a little retaining pin, and you thumb that as you jump in and grab the D-rings. There's the D-rings.
There you go, they're listening to you.
And they're I know they are. And they're little D-shaped metal handles, each is attached to a cable. If you pull the right one, the axle turns right. You pull the left one, the axle turns left. I mean, it's really basic soapbox kart stuff. But at 130 kilometers an hour. We were talking about this last night. We're coming down the motorway back from Dresden, 140 kilometers an hour. It's absolutely nothing in a modern car. In a car 40 years old, it would feel like some speed, but in a bobsleigh on ice, and again, we weren't on sheet ice. The bobsleigh on ice with no brakes and you know, no studs or anything. You know, it's a heck of a speed. 120, 130 k's in these things is absolutely motoring, and at speeds that sleds would not remotely have been capable of unless they'd been dropped off a crane when this track was built.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the sleds are so much faster than they were in the late 70s when this was designed, and in the 80s when it was first raced on, and as a result, you know, the accidents go on for longer and further. But the sleds are fully enclosed, which they weren't in those days, and that gives a little bit more protection.
Yeah, a lot more protection, which is great. I'm definitely glad to be protected by the sled.
Yeah. Romanian family and friends, and unfortunate as it is, Andreea Grecu and Teodora Vlad, because of the crash for Lisa Bukvits, they are now the leaders with 2 to go. So she is in the medals for the first time here as a driver in Altenberg, and that will add to Andrea's medal tally in women's bob. So she's got 1 silver medal. That was in Sigulda back in 2020 in the European Championships. Or was it 2022? I can't quite remember. But it's Yingqing. She's got a selection of different hats. She had a more sort of burgundy one on, or maybe that was in the skeleton race, in the teams race. There's a few coloured panda hats going around. So.
There's lots of spectators out there today. We went for a bit of a walk on the break before, and there's a lot of people. The sun's out, it always helps, and I guess the crowd's building a little bit for the 4-man as well. But
absolutely,
there's a really nice atmosphere here. It's really good to see.
And they know their sport here. You know, lots and lots of fans in town and lots of fans in the region. Yeah, we're 40 minutes from Dresden, the capital of Saxony. It's a big city, and they know their sport. You know, these names, particularly in the 4-man, like you say, you know, Francesco Friedrich, huge German sporting name, never mind in Saxony, never mind in bobsleigh. You know, he's known across the nation, as well as in our little bubble of sporting excellence. So 2 to go, and Lisa Bukvits, Lawrence Ebert, not going to be on the podium here today. Teodora Vlad on left, Andreea Grecu on the right are
enjoying their time in the leader box.
I think the little sponsor's logo there might possibly be the Paul Niagu's business back in Winterberg. He runs a physio clinic, has done for many, many years. He's the smaller of the 2 coaches that you'll see in the Romanian colours. And Paul and his son have run a clinic there for many years. Used to be a nightclub overhead, but that's apartments now. Fun fact.
There you go, I didn't know that.
Oh! And actually, isn't there a laundrette next door to it? Entirely unrelated, but in Martinhaven Needs Laundry doing news for next weekend. I think there might be, actually. Yeah, no, so there used to be, yes, next to the Black Rock, not too far from the Blackwater pub. Morning, Danny. See you next week. Paul Niagu's clinic, and the floor above there used to be a first floor nightclub.
There you go.
So there you go, yeah.
Hopefully a laundromat next to it.
You know, I'm suddenly thinking, I think there might be. Anyway, back to our racing action. 2 sleds to go here in Altenberg. And if nerves aren't jangling enough at the start line in Altenberg, and they always are, even more so now for Kim Kilicki and Annabelle Gallander. Now, crashes happen. Crashes can happen to everybody. Yes, it was your teammate. Yes, it's a German sled on a German track. Doesn't matter. Focus on what you're going to do. Keep your game plan in mind. Execute. Go, go, go. Here we go. 5:72 first heat. Let's see what they've got in the start second time down. 5:67. Exactly as you anticipate, going off even harder. That's how you deal with the nerves.
Exactly. She had a bit of a skid going from 1 to 2 there, but that start's definitely going to make a bit of a difference.
Interesting that she dropped the pilot's push bar in with her right hand rather than thumbing the button. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Maybe it's stuck. 8,300s up. This is not about Andreea Grecu. This is about trying to beat Lauren Alter and take a second win on this track. She won here the second race 2 years ago, just before the games.
A little bit of a tap and a late entrance in there.
Offline into 13. Clean enough out of 14. Best speed. Going to be pretty close to Melanie Hasser's 125.5 across the line. 9,900s up. Yeah, that is how you deal with a 5-minute delay and another 5-minute delay. You get out there and you just kick it.
She doesn't seem so happy with that run though, shaking her head, but there was a few little things, but in general, a lot of it was quite nice.
56.51 in the first heat, 56.66 in the second. Is the track as quick? We don't know, but they definitely went after it.
Well, she took the tap there, and it made her a little bit skiddy, which would have robbed her of a little bit of time there. But she went into prize quite nicely.
Yeah, the second tap was quite fortuitous, wasn't it? It meant she didn't have to waste time steering. Here, 11-12, hard onto 12. Pulls it off quite hard there as well. That results in the tap into 13. She gets another tap on the left going in. Good driving, that was not. See, I can do more than just order food in German, not much more. Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy now. Their last race together, it was Olympic gold. Are they going to take gold here again? They have a big advantage over Andrea Grecu, 1.04 seconds. Over Kim Kilicki, it was 43 hundredths. 5:58 getaway, 5:59 in the first heat, the two fastest starts of the competition.
It's nice to see that they're consistent, that they're able to produce the fast times in both runs.
And it shows how fit Deborah Levy is now. And Lara was saying yesterday after the Monobob, I like Winterberg, but I'm going to need to do something special with the push to stay with the faster girls. I think that something special has just arrived, and she is driving beautifully, gets it out nicely. She was cautious there on the final pressure. Best speed. Making it look like it's Winterberg cruising down at the bottom of the track to gold. Victory for Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy, their first race since the Olympic Games, and they go back-to-back gold medals.
That's pretty awesome. You have your first race back together and you're back in the sled and you win a gold medal. It doesn't really get much better than that. Track record in the first run, really like they're awesome push times. That's really impressive. I
think the track record speeds may have gone. We'll see what the temperatures do for the afternoon for the four-man, but yeah, back together again and straight into winning ways. And it's a double winning weekend here in Altenberg for Lara Nolte. She's never won in the women's bobsleigh here. She took silver last year. That was her second silver medal. She and Deborah took silver in the first of the two races here before the Olympics.
They should definitely be very happy with that result. That's really impressive.
That is a reuniting moment that's taken a long time coming. Like you say, track record, the two fastest pushes. I think she'll be going to Winterberg feeling a whole lot happier.
Exactly, that's a big confidence boost leading into World Champs. Like I said, she knows Winterberg, she drives Winterberg well, so if she has Deborah behind her, she's going to be flying.
Well, she was absolutely bouncing yesterday after the Monobob win, but she looks like she's got another couple of Energizer batteries attached today, so Lara Nolte and Deborah Levy take gold from Kim Kilicki and Annabelle Gallander. That's Kilicki's third silver medal on this track. And Andrea Grecu and Teodora Vlad, Andrea's first medal in World Cup women's bobsleigh racing here, and her second career medal. Seventh place, Kelly van Petegem and Dorota Hasselaar. That was a good run from them. Victoria Chinanska in the end in 10th spot after her crash. Lisa Buchwitz 9th after hers, and Lana Myers-Taylor and Jazz Jones not going a second time. So it was a bit of a bruising race, and the extra pace in the track this morning definitely made it a very different Altenberg from the one that they trained on and the one they raced on yesterday in Mono. So Lara Nolte developing that extra speed with Deborah Levy at the start. So this was a very different track from the one that she trained on. She handled it superbly.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, there you go. Mark, our floor manager, loses his 10 cents because it is not a German sweep. The Romanians finishing in third place. Second career medal for Andrea Grecu. Excellent stuff. And for Lara Nolte, a 15th career win, her first here. She creeps a little further ahead of Kim Kilicki with Lisa Buchwitz in third and Mel Hassler in fourth spot. Some very, very close little groups of athletes in that overall rankings. and the final race in Lake Placid. Maybe not all of them will be there, so there could be some changes. But right now, it does look like Lauren Alter has at least one hand creeping out towards the gold crystal globe at the end of the season. And that is it for the women here in Altenberg. They will start training on Tuesday for the World Championships. Week 1 will be mono, week 2 will be women's bobsleigh, and then 2-man and 4-man, and all the skeleton will be next week. But we still have the 4-man, the blue ribbon event, the Königsklasse. That will start a little earlier than yesterday, 1:30 local, 12:30 GMT, 07:30 Eastern. Till then, from Sarah Blizzard, from me, Martin Haven, the IBSF TV crew here in Altenberg, thanks for joining us. We'll see you for the 4-man.
Oh!